So our next hot take comes from Matt Mattson with Fired Up. So take it away, Matt.
Thanks, Jim. What's up, Theta Talk? Everybody, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to make a list of 5 members in your chapter right now. Just write it down. Hopefully you got 5 members. If not, I got a whole recruitment training I'll do for you another time. But for now, I want you to focus on this. Write down the names of 5 real members in your chapter. Go ahead, write them down. Just any 5, doesn't matter which 5. You can include yourself in the list if you want. That's 1. That's easy. You check that one off. What else you got? Give me 4 more people, get 5 names on a good. Maybe you wrote it down in a thing on your phone, wrote it on some real paper. That's cool. I want you to look at that. I want you to look at that real quick, and I want you to realize this. There is a chance, there is a pretty good chance that one of those people will quit Theta Tau or disengage from Theta Tau or just sort of stop caring about Theta Tau and stop showing up. In fact, we've got good research, good data that shows that before the pandemic, around 1 in 5 people who joined a fraternity or sorority of any sort, professional organization, honors organization, social organization, 1 in 5, 20% of the people we work so hard to attract, select, and secure into our organizations, 1 in 5 of them quit. That's a problem. Most organizations, I work with fraternities and sororities of all sorts, and most fraternities and sororities have literally nobody in charge of plugging the hole in our boat. The hole in our boat that is letting out 20% of the people that we care about. And by the way, this isn't just data. These are real humans. These are people we care about. You probably know somebody who joined or said they'd like to join or started your process, and then they're gone now. Or maybe you know a senior member or somebody who's senior-ish, and they've already drifted away. Man, that's a problem. And I think we need to fix it. I'm glad to be with you all. By the way, my name is Matt Mattson. I'm the president and co-founder of Fired Up and Technify. We help fraternities and sororities grow. And so long, we've worked on recruitment and marketing and that kind of stuff. But there's another part of growth, and that is keeping our members and keeping them engaged. We conducted some major research over really the last probably 7 years or so around why people quit fraternities and sororities. A lot of people, you could guess in the chat feature right now, you could guess the number 1, number 2 reasons people quit fraternities and sororities. Most people, I can't see the chat feature right now because I got to look at my slides, but most people would guess money or time are the 2 primary reasons people quit fraternity and sorority. And that's what people said when we did the research in the quantitative way. When we sent them a survey, a bunch of people who quit fraternity and sorority, we asked them, why'd you quit? And their top 2 answers were, of course, money and time. But then we did something cool in this research. We actually picked up the phone and we called as many of them as possible. We conducted hundreds of interviews of people who had quit fraternity and sorority. And I actually got to help conduct some of this research. And when we got them on the phone, we'd say, hey, it says here you quit because of money or time or whatever. And then we'd say, so tell me that story. And almost every time they'd say, yeah, it was money or it was expensive or yeah, I was really busy. And then they'd say, but what had really happened was, and they'd tell us the rest of the story. If you have a chance right now to scan the QR code that's up on the screen or go to tinyurl.com/retention fired up, I hope you download this resource. Honestly, we've been talking about retention for a while. And right before the pandemic, a few years ago, I was at, I think, your Mid-Atlantic Regional doing a training around retention. And one of your members came up to me afterwards. She was great. She was really inquisitive and smart and innovative. And she kind of pushed me. She was like, hey, you should probably write this down, like write down some answers to this question. How do we actually keep our members? We need a resource for this. And so, no kidding, the resource that you can download from that QR code or that URL comes directly because a Theta Tau member said, hey, will you write this thing? And so we did. And actually, it's one of my favorite resources we ever created. So the research, when we did the research about why people quit fraternity and sorority, they told us that there were actually 3 primary reasons they were quitting. Number 1, misaligned expectations. We sold them something that they didn't get. They came to our rush events, our recruitment events, and we were like, this is fun. You're going to get a bunch of new engineering friends, and we're really social and nice. Do you want a hot dog? Look at our matching shirts. And it was like, look at how fun this is. Theta Tau is super fun. And then they got in the chapter, and it was like, you got to pay your insurance, and headquarters needs something from you, and you got to show up to meeting, and you got to be here, or you're going to get fined. And anyway, there was a significant misaligning of expectations. So the first question to you all is, how can we do better at selling something that is actually more authentically connected to what we're delivering, because people actually want what we deliver. They really want what we deliver. But when we aren't clear about it up front, either on purpose or on accident, when we are clear about it up front, it causes a big riff in their experience of Theta Tau. Second reason people quit all fraternities and sororities is lack of connection. They never found a best friend in the chapter. Do me a favor, everybody. I want you to think about your whole chapter right now. Think about all the members in your chapter. I want you to picture them all. Picture them all. And I want you to picture them in friend groups. Can you do that? Can you kind of make that picture in your mind? Picture them, like put them in little groups based on who they hang out with the most. They're little friend groups. By the way, friend groups aren't bad. Cliques are bad. Cliques are toxic friend groups. Friend groups are normal. Any larger group is going to divide. Actually, any group over 12 people will absolutely, definitely divide up into natural friend groups that all exist. That's awesome. That's a good thing. It's actually a really cool exercise to map it out and to draw your chapter on paper and to see those friend groups. Like there's some friend groups that are about sports, and some friend groups that are about this particular video game, some friend groups that are about mechanical engineering specifically, some friend groups, right? There's all these friend groups. But now look at the picture that you drew and ask yourself, who's not in a friend group? Or who just lost their friend group because they graduated or disengaged? Or who never really had a friend group to begin with? Who is sort of half in a friend group, half out? Who's transitioning friend groups because they got in a fight with that friend group? That's normal. We're an organization of human beings. That stuff's going to happen. If you can think of any name associated with any of those people who are either outside of or in between friend groups, I want you to pick up your phone right now and text them. Just, you don't have to be like the speaker guy said you're out of a friend group and you're going to quit. Don't do that. Just text them and say, do you want to hang out this weekend? Do you want to grab coffee? You want to get lunch? You want to hang out with me? I got to study for the thing. Do you want to go study for you want to watch the Super Bowl together? Invite them intentionally and personally, invite them to something real. This is a real person who is likely to quit your organization. We have to have real relationships. The third reason people quit fraternities and sororities is drama. I got bad news for you. I don't know how to fix drama, but drama only matters when there are misaligned expectations or a lack of connection. You know, over the course of the 2 years pre-pandemic, the research started to shift a little bit. And then during the pandemic, the research showed this even more, that there was a fourth reason people were quitting. And that fourth reason is pretty simple. People started doing math. Our members started asking the question, wait, am I getting anything from this? What value is this thing providing me? This is a fun little blog to check out. If you can scan the QR code or go to blog.phiredup.com/worthit and ask yourself if you can come up with the top 10 list of reasons it's worth it to be a member of your fraternity right now. Reasons it's worth it to be a Theta Tau member right now. Can you write down 10 reasons? As a chapter leader, do you have 10 reasons? And in fact, your next 10 Instagram posts or your next 100 Instagram posts should be about those 10 reasons. The story we should be telling is this is what makes it worth it. You go to that blog, you can actually see some examples of what people say when they say, this is what makes membership worth it to me. Because during the pandemic, we saw a lot of people leave. During 2020, 2021, we saw a lot of people quit fraternities and sororities just straight up because the only thing they were getting from it was a social experience, an in-person social experience. And when that went away, there was no value proposition left. Of course, I believe Theta Tau specifically to be worth a lot more than just hanging out with people late at night with a beer in our hand. I think you do too. In fact, I know you do too. But sometimes there's a powerful thing that we can do. I'll show it to you here in a minute, but there's a powerful thing we can do. And that is ask our members to actually record little videos of 60 seconds of them saying why membership is worth it. Part of the reason is because that's good social media content and good marketing content. More importantly, when our members voice it and record it, they reconvince themselves. They remind themselves of what they get out of this thing. Listen, here's some tactical things to go along with that idea that I recommend every chapter starts to do to keep its members and keep its members engaged. Number one, to conduct a semesterly assessment. These 6 questions specifically, either conducted via like a survey, or I think it's even better done with an individual like face-to-face interview, or like, let's go to coffee. I'm going to do the assessment. I'm going to do the semesterly assessment. I want to know what's going on with you, what your experience is in Theta Tau. These 6 questions specifically, I think, can lead you to really cool conversation and to really find out how you as chapter leaders can shape the deliverables of the organization over the course of the next year to actually meet the needs of your members and the expectations of your members. So often we skip this part. We don't ask our members not just what they want. I don't think we should lead a chapter that way, but ask our members what they expect to get out of this thing, why they're here. What's your favorite part of being a member? What's your least favorite part? Let's find that information out right away so we can solve problems. How can we help you learn and grow this semester? Theta Tau provides an inferred promise that you will learn and grow as a member of this organization. So let's find out how we can help them. But the reality is most fraternal organizations on college campuses only really deliver that to first and second year students. And so the reason our senior members disengage is because we stopped helping them learn and grow. Let's find out. Let's ask them. How many very close friends would you say you have in the organization? That's a challenging question. And what you'll find is that some people will be pretty honest with you. A lot of members will be pretty honest and say, not enough. What do you expect of yourself and what do you expect of the organization? A couple other just simple tactical things. Do you have a committee of people who are in fact in charge of keeping members and keeping them engaged? It can be anonymous, but it doesn't have to. I like to think of a big whiteboard with the name of every active chapter member on it, so that we put a check mark by every active chapter member every month or every semester at the very least. And that check mark means that we've done the assessment and we know that they are a part of a friend group. Like that's a pretty simple thing to really do, is to achieve those 2 things. We know they completed the assessment and they're in a friend group for sure. Our committee is working on just accomplishing that. We put a check mark by every name in our chapter every semester. I think Theta Tau has sort of a big little structure. They're big brother, big sister, whatever, big member, I don't know, whatever, big sibling, and littles. But often that structure doesn't have any purpose behind it for a lot of organizations. I think if we added a little bit of purpose, what if the job description of your big bro was more clearly defined and focused on just 2 simple things: keeping your little engaged with the chapter and helping them find success as a college student. That's the job of a big. And if they were the ones that conducted that assessment and they were the ones that made sure that our little was in a friend group, right? Like these are simple, practical things. Put a real job description around the big. Often the big is just like somebody buys them gifts or something, but that's nice. That's what I got. I got that paddle back there. I don't know if you see the paddle back there. I got it from my big brother a long time ago, and it's a beautiful thing. But I think we could add a little more meat to the bone of what that structure means. I recommended this little 60-second video challenge earlier. This is a really impactful exercise that I see a lot of chapters actually do, and they'll tag us on Instagram or they'll text me their videos just so I can see it. But I love it when chapters do this because, again, yeah, it's marketing stuff, sure, but there's power in somebody saying out loud to a camera, this is why membership is worth it to me. And sometimes just reminding that, or that can create a conversation in the chapter that can be really powerful and valuable. This is a hot take, which is appropriate for me at Phired Up. That's right, everybody. You're giggling, and I appreciate that. Listen, there's all my contact information. This is what I do for a living. I help fraternities and sororities grow, but more importantly, Theta Tau has been a partner of ours for nearly a decade, maybe longer. I don't know, a long time. I've been doing Theta Tau stuff for a long time, and I love working with you all. I get to go to some of your regionals this semester. I don't know, later this semester, I get to visit some of you. I can't wait to see you. Thanks for listening to a little bit of retention. Hot take, everybody. Stay fired up. Thanks, Theta Tau.